quickly over to the AFC South. This is, I know people like to dump on the NFC East as just a bad division, but this is a bad division, AFC South this year. The Colts and Titans have battled it out the last couple of years, and it's been pretty intense and pretty entertaining. The problem is the bottom of that division is the Jaguars and the Texans, which are just awful. And I'm not quite sure what to expect from Carson Wentz. Before the injury, I thought Wentz was going to be a nice reclamation project. He was going to come in, be paired with Michael Pittman. You know, they had a running game, a solid offensive line. It's kind of the new blueprint. You build that offensive line and you have a quarterback who can do enough. And I thought that was going to be the Colts. And then Wentz goes down with injury. Quentin Nelson, arguably the best player on their team, goes out. They're kind of on track for week one. You know, they're kind of keeping that quiet. I haven't seen the latest reports. I'm going to say the Colts don't quite have the full Carson Wentz early on, but they're going to have him for the second half of the season, which will be the most important. Now, Wentz is always an injury risk no matter what he's done. He's kind of been healthy for the one stretch run that the Eagles had, that Foles finished off in the Super Bowl victory. But if Wentz stays healthy, I see the Colts taking this division, and I see the Titans becoming a wild card team. I see the Jacksonville Jaguars and Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence 4-13, and I see the Texans. I generously gave them 2 wins. It's very hard for it. It's as hard to go undefeated as it is to go completely defeated. So I generously, and maybe it's just I'm feeling good because the NFL season's here and everyone has optimism. So I gave them 2 wins.
May I ask which 2 teams fell asleep at the wheel there?
Well, that's the thing. When I look at the schedule, I don't see anywhere where they're going to win. But what it's going to take is they're going to play each other. So maybe they split that. And then you're right. Some team fell asleep or had the division or had a playoff seed wrapped up, in week 18 or something along the lines, because there's no rational reason that they're going to be favored or anyone's going to think. No one's taken them in a survivor pool at all this season. So let's just put that there. Jerry, AFC South.
Yeah. I think the Titans should be taking this division fairly easily. Ryan Tannehill has lots of weapons at his disposal, from Derrick Henry to A.J. Brown and now Julio Jones. The offense should put up points. So it's really up to the defense, who sort of let them down last year, but it's up to the defense to hold up its end of the bargain. And it's because so they'd be my first team. And then you got the Colts, where their defense will be great. But like you've just pointed out, Carson Wentz is such a big question mark. You just don't know what you're going to get, good, bad, injured, what have you. And then who's behind Carson Wentz? I actually don't even know. Is it the kid Easton or
Easton?
Yeah.
Smith.
So and then T.Y. Hilton, I think he's hurt again.
Yes.
So yeah. So, I think, and you mentioned Quentin Nelson. So, so I guess I just don't feel very confident in the Colts this season. And of course, both those teams will be stacking up wins because they get to play the Jags and the Texans.
Exactly.
Twice, this year. The good news for the Jags is that the Trevor Lawrence era is now upon us. And there's talent at some positions, at the receiver position, with, help me with his name, Laviska Shenault Jr. Yeah, and then as well as DJ Chark, and then and a few of those guys on defense. But by and large, it's a rebuilding project. And as far as the Texans are concerned, 2 words: winless season. First 0-17 team in history in the first year that we have 17 games.
Yeah. Coming right out. Well. We'll talk about this later on, but they're going to have competition for that winless season. So I think we'll get to that when, as a teaser, it's a team from the NFC North. So, Jeff, what do you think? Obviously, it sounds like it's a 2-team race for the top and a 2-team race for the bottom. So I'm saying Colts, Jerry's saying Titans. Break the tie.
Well, yeah, I mean, like we talked about with the AFC North, and those teams, beating the crap out of each other in a black and blue division, just like the NFC North has always been considered. I look at the South. Yeah, I'm all about the Titans. I'm with Jerry. I mean, I don't see them taking a big step back really, and all they've done is add. Whereas the Colts, I think a lot of pundits, you too, Todd, I mean, are high on the Colts, and I don't know. I just don't see. I didn't see it with Phillip Rivers last year, and I think they're going to be even worse this year with Carson Wentz and his unknown issues he has, and all the other injuries on that team. So I only see one team making the playoffs out of that division. That's the Titans, and I'm with Jerry as well on the Texans. I'd like to see them go 0-17. I'd like to see. I'll be cheering for that, just like I was cheering for the Lions a few years back to go 0-16, get that perfect season. So I definitely want to see them go 0-17. They're not going to be playing any inspired football. At least the Jaguars, I think, will be playing a little bit inspired, like play for a new coach, and they got Trevor Lawrence, and they might have a little more energy. And whereas the Texans, they're like, who are we playing? And then Cooks is already on the concussion protocol, I'm sure. So, so that's why I see that division playing out.
I'd even forgotten that Brandon Cooks was even on the team. I was actually looking at their depth chart just to see who's even on the Texans anymore.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. Tyrod Taylor.
Is Arian Foster still available? Can you get him out?